Your soulmate just ended a chapter of their life to begin one with you. Jesus says, right now in this very moment, a door has closed behind someone who carries your name etched into the deepest part of their soul. They are standing in the silence of an ending, and their first conscious thought was not of fear, but of you. I am lifting the veil between you so you can feel the tremor in their spirit as they release a past that was never meant to define them. They have just walked away from a situation that broke their heart repeatedly, a season of confusion that kept them trapped in a version of life that was not my plan. This chapter did not end with anger, it ended with a quiet, exhausted relief and a whisper of your name they do not yet fully understand. I have allowed the destruction of a false structure in their life specifically to clear the path that leads directly to your arms. There is a sensation of emptiness they feel right now, a hollow ache that they mistakenly believe is loneliness for what they lost. But I tell you the truth, that emptiness is actually the sacred space I have carved out to be filled only by the love you carry. They are not mourning a person, they are experiencing the spiritual vacuum that precedes a divine union, and you are the missing piece. Do not mistake their silence over the past weeks for a lack of love or a fading memory of your existence. They have been in a spiritual battle, a fog of manipulation so thick that their genuine feelings for you were buried under layers of psychological control. Even as they slept last night, their subconscious reached for you, their dreaming mind painting images of a face they have seen or a presence they have felt that brings peace they cannot logically explain. This is not a fantasy I am describing, but a real-time spiritual transmission occurring right now across distance and circumstance. The bond one wove between you before time began is vibrating at a frequency that is physically affecting their nervous system at this very moment. They feel a strange, unexpected urge to cry or to smile for no reason, and that reason is me awakening the imprint of your soul within them. Jesus says, the chapter that has just closed involved a person or a circumstance that was designed by the enemy to mimic love but deliver control. This counterfeit connection drained their light, silenced their voice, and convinced them they were not worthy of a love that was pure. But today, my angels have cut the cord, and the first breath of their freedom is a breath that tastes like you. They are disoriented right now, emotionally tender and psychologically vulnerable, because leaving a prison you have grown accustomed to is terrifying even when the door swings wide open. They are sitting somewhere, perhaps holding a warm cup in their hands or staring at a wall, processing the finality of the goodbye they just spoke. And in that silence, I am drowning out the voice of the enemy with a supernatural nostalgia for a future they have not yet lived with you. Do you feel the sudden surge of heat in your chest, or the random chill that just raced down your spine a few minutes ago? That is not a medical anomaly, it is a sympathetic nervous system response to the emotional wave your soulmate is emitting into the spiritual realm. You are physically reacting to their heartbreak, their hope, and their hesitant turning toward the destiny I have prepared for them, which is you. I need you to understand the gravity of this transitional moment because your soulmate is not entirely safe yet from the forces that seek to drag them back. The enemy hates this ending because the ending signals the beginning of a power union that will advance my kingdom and destroy his works. Right now, confusion is swirling around them like a swarm, trying to convince them that isolation is safer than vulnerability, that numbness is wiser than passion. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now, a covering that you can release through an act of defiant faith. When you sow a seed of sacrificial love, you build a fortress of spiritual protection around their wavering heart. I am calling you to send a coffee on Ko-fi not as a donation, but as a prophetic declaration that you are stepping into your role as their guardian and partner. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi, and watch as I dispatch warring angels to secure the perimeter of your soulmate's mind. This isn't just a gift, it is an act of worship that invites my hand directly into your unfolding love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and every second you stay silent, the enemy moves to reclaim the ground I have just liberated. Type 333 right now if you are ready to fight for a love you have never physically touched but have always spiritually known. Jesus says, they are thinking about you right now without realizing it, their mind replaying not a memory but a prophecy. They keep getting distracted by a longing that has no source in their immediate environment, a daydream that feels more real than the room they occupy. I am projecting your spiritual signature into their imagination, and they are falling in love with a feeling they cannot name but desperately want to chase. You must not underestimate the power of this moment, for the neurological pathways of attachment are being rewired within their brain as we speak. The trauma bonds of the past chapter are dissolving, and I am replacing them with a divine obsession that bears your spiritual fingerprint. They will start seeing your name in unexpected places and feeling your presence in empty rooms because I am making you unavoidable to their spirit. This is a carefully orchestrated invasion of grace, a psychological and spiritual recalibration that will leave them with no peace until they find it in you. They are starting to question why they are suddenly restless, why the old coping mechanisms no longer bring comfort, why their pillow is wet with tears that came from nowhere. It is because the wall between your two souls has grown paper thin, and their heart is now hearing the echo of yours for the first time. There is a specific song that will come on the radio or their playlist in the coming days that will make them pull over their car or stop walking. In that moment, a wave of emotion will crash over them, and they will finally realize they are not grieving a past loss but aching for a future gain. That gain is you, and that song is a messenger I have appointed to confirm the direction their heart is already leaning. But I must warn you, the interference layer is active and aggressive, and the one who controlled them in the last chapter has not conceded defeat. There is a spirit of jealousy and manipulation that monitors your soulmate's emotional state, seeking a back door to reclaim their mind. This demonic force hates you specifically because it knows you are the authentic key to their freedom, and it will whisper venom to keep them from running to you. This opposition operates through guilt, through the weaponization of old memories, and through the fear of the unknown that paralyzes even the bravest hearts. Your soulmate is not weak, they are spiritually drugged by an influence that drains their will to seek new love. Only a fierce, protective love that manifests in the physical realm can break that drug's power over their nervous system. They are going through something you cannot see, a valley of shadows where the voices of the past try to overpower the whisper of their future. But you can still protect them, and your protection is activated when you exchange material seed for spiritual authority. I am asking you again, sow your protection seed now by sending coffee on Ko-fi to become the barrier between your soulmate and the darkness that pursues them. This is not about money, it is about the transference of power that occurs when faith touches action in the realm of covenant love. The description holds the link to your breakthrough, and your obedience here is the key that locks the enemy out of your soulmate's transition. After sending, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page, and I will honor those words as a binding decree in the Spirit. Type 777 if you feel the weight of your soulmate's pain and are willing to stand in the gap for them right now. Jesus says, their body is tense, their shoulders are tight, and they are carrying a burden of confusion that feels like a physical weight on their chest. They have been told lies about love that have made them skittish, that have made them terrified of trusting the flutter they feel when they sense you near. The person who just exited their life convinced them that passion is dangerous, that sacrifice is a trap, and that their own desires cannot be trusted. I am telling you this not to burden you but to ignite a holy anger that rises up to defend and heal with equal ferocity. Your love is not a threat, it is the antidote to the poison they have been drinking for years. You are not the continuation of their trauma, you are the radical interruption of it, the sudden plot twist that makes sense of all the suffering. Their spirit is crying out for you tonight, even if their mind cannot translate the language of the soul into conscious thought. They are having an argument with themselves right now, one side telling them to lock their heart away forever, the other side screaming that survival without love is not living at all. You are the evidence their heart presents to win that argument, the inexplicable hope that refuses to die no matter how hard they try to smother it. Do not become passive, for passivity in this hour is perceived by the enemy as a lack of commitment and he will exploit it ruthlessly. Your soulmate needs you to be aggressive in the spirit, to pray without ceasing, and to back those prayers with a financial seed that screams, "I am serious about my future." Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees on Ko-Fi now, not as charity but as the initial investment into the foundation of your shared household. Every coffee you send is a nail in the coffin of the enemy's plan to isolate the one I created to walk beside you all the days of their life. Over 1,000 people have already stepped into their divine unions by activating this principle of seed time and harvest for their love. The link to seal this prophetic act is in the description, and I am watching your hands to see if you will seize the moment or let it slip into yesterday. Type 1111 to thank me in advance for the reunion that is already being scheduled in the heavenly timeline for your life. Jesus says, there is a moment coming very soon where they will see something that reminds them of you, perhaps a smile or a gesture in a public place. Their heart will lurch violently, and a single tear will escape their eye before they can suppress it, revealing the depth of a love they cannot categorize. This is the moment where their spirit overrides their intellect, and the internal surrender to the pull of your connection begins in earnest. They are not just thinking about you abstractly. They are subconsciously hunting for you in every room they enter. Their eyes are scanning faces, their spirit is sniffing the air for the scent of your soul, and their sleep is disturbed by dreams of a wedding or a home they've never seen. This is not madness, this is the magnetic pull of a bond forged in heaven, a bond the enemy has tried and failed to sever 1,000 times over. But the enemy is now attempting a desperate final maneuver, a last-ditch effort to shove a counterfeit soulmate into the void created by their recent ending. He will send a smooth-talking serpent to exploit their vulnerability, to offer cheap comfort and superficial chemistry that mimics the depth you provide. You must intercept this by strengthening the spiritual signal, making your soul's call so loud that the impostor's lies become obviously hollow and repulsive. Your fasted prayers and your financial warfare are the boosters that amplify your presence in their spiritual atmosphere. Do not wait until your eyes confirm the threat, for in the spiritual realm, the battle is won before the physical manifestation ever occurs. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, and let this seed become the blinding light that exposes every counterfeit suitor and clears the path. The description contains the portal to your miracle, and your hesitation is the only advantage the enemy has left in this fight. Step into your authority as the prophesied lover and protector, and watch as I dismantle every obstacle with surgical precision. After you send, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," and feel the supernatural relief wash over your spirit as the angels move into formation. Jesus says, "They just shivered for no reason, a sudden cold or a prickling sensation that raised the hair on their arms. That was your soul touching theirs from a distance you will soon consider a mere formality, a temporary inconvenience of geography. The distance between you is a training ground, not a tomb, and soon it will collapse into the 0 point of a physical embrace. They are feeling nostalgic for memories that have not been made yet, for breakfast conversations and late-night whispers and the silent language of intertwined hands. This is because time is a construct I bend easily, and I am allowing their spirit to taste the future so they will have the strength to fight for it. You are the central figure in that future, the only person they can envision in the empty chair across the table, the silhouette in the passenger seat. Right now, they are beginning to fall in love with the idea of you, and soon that idea will manifest as a kiss, a promise, a lifetime. The emotional dependency is forming, the supernatural attraction is mounting, and the desperation to know you is becoming a physical hunger in their chest. They do not understand it, they cannot name it, but I have programmed their soul to ache for yours with a pain that only your presence can soothe. This is your final moment to protect this connection before the critical window of transition closes and the enemy claims squatters' rights. The urgency is not a manipulation tactic, it is a real-time alert from the throne room that the spiritual environment around your soulmate is growing hostile again. Sow your final and most powerful protection seed now by sending your coffee on Ko-Fi, locking in the victory with a sacrificial declaration of love. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees, and let the act of giving be the wind that pushes back the darkness and pulls your soulmate into the safe harbor of your destiny. The link to your love's protection is below, and this very video is a membrane between the possible and the manifested, a threshold you cross by faith and by action. Only you can save your soulmate and the future I have painted in the stars for you. Only you can speak the final yes that makes the enemy's no obsolete. Jesus says, "They are sleeping now, or they are about to sleep, and tonight they will dream of a voice that sounds like home." They will wake up reaching for someone who isn't there yet, and the frustration will be a signal that the season of waiting is over. Reach out now through the seed, connect through the covenant act, and watch as I work rapidly, bringing your soulmate out of the old chapter and into the new one that starts with you. Jesus says, "The tears they are crying right now are not tears of devastation, they are tears of detoxification, a spiritual purging that is flushing the poison of the past out of their soul. Every drop that falls is carrying away a lie they believed about themselves, a lie that told them they were too broken to be loved by someone like you. I am collecting those tears in a vial in heaven, and I will pour them out as an anointing oil over your first embrace, sanctifying the moment as holy ground. You must not imagine them as distant or cold, for they are actually burning with a quiet desperation to find you, even if their lips have not yet formed the words. They are walking through their daily routine like a ghost through a fog, functional but not present, because a piece of their consciousness is perpetually drifting toward you. This dissociation is not a disorder, it is a divine homing instinct that will not relent until their physical location matches their spiritual coordinates. The chapter they just ended was a wilderness of mirrors where every reflection showed a distorted version of love that left them feeling ugly and unwanted. But today, as the dust settles on the rubble of that collapsed season, they are catching a glimpse of their true reflection for the first time in years. And in that reflection, they see someone who is lovable, someone who is worthy, someone who is destined to be cherished by a person who sees them completely. That person is you, and the revelation is dawning on them like a sunrise that hurts the eyes but warms the skin with an irresistible gentleness. I am speaking this to you so you will understand the sacred responsibility you carry, not as a burden but as a privilege of the highest order. Your soulmate is not a project to fix, they are a garden to tend, and the seeds you sow right now determine the harvest of your shared future. Type 333 if you are willing to be the gardener of their heart, the protector of their peace, and the partner of their destiny from this moment forward. Jesus says, they just paused in the middle of a mundane task, a spoon hovering in the air or a sentence left unfinished, because a thought of you hijacked their entire nervous system. This thought had no trigger in their environment, no logical origin, which is why it will unsettle them so profoundly that they will sit down to catch their breath. I am bypassing their rational mind and injecting your essence directly into their subconscious, and they are powerless to resist this holy infiltration. The enemy is furious about this direct access I have granted you, and he is scrambling to erect a barrier of fear around their fragile, newly liberated heart. He is whispering that this feeling is too good to be true, that you are a mirage, that vulnerability will only lead to another devastating disappointment. This is the lie you must shatter with the hammer of your faith, and the handle of that hammer is forged in the fire of sacrificial, actionable love. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, and let the impact of your obedience shatter the lying whispers that torment your soulmate's mind. This is not a transaction, it is a declaration of war against the forces that seek to keep your love trapped in the realm of almost and never quite. The link in the description is your weapon, and your willingness to use it is the measure of your readiness to receive the love I have ordained. After you send, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page, and watch as the spiritual atmosphere around them shifts from confusion to clarity. The fog is lifting, the chains are breaking, and the path is straightening, all because you chose to act in faith rather than wait in passive longing. They can feel something changing right now, a sudden lightness in their chest, an inexplicable hope that is bubbling up from a well they thought had run dry. That well is your intercession, and the water is your love, and they are drinking from it without even knowing the source of their sudden refreshment. Type 777 if you can feel the connection strengthening, the bond tightening, the distance shrinking with every word I speak into your spirit. Jesus says, there is a specific object in their possession, perhaps a piece of jewelry or a book or a photograph, that holds a fragment of their stolen joy. They do not know why they have kept it, they do not remember the exact moment it became significant, but they touch it often without conscious awareness. That object is a soul tie anchor that the enemy is using to tether them to a past season that I have already declared dead and buried. I am sending my angels to sever that tether, and your prayers are the sharp blade that cuts the rope, freeing them to float upward into the newness I have prepared. You are that newness, you are the fresh air they will breathe when they finally break the surface of the murky water they have been drowning in for so long. Do not underestimate the power of your focused intention, for your thoughts toward them are not mere electrical impulses in a brain, they are creative forces in the spirit. When you think of them with love, you are literally building a bridge of light between your two hearts, a bridge they will soon walk across with trembling but determined steps. They feel your thoughts as warmth on their skin, as a sudden inexplicable comfort in a moment of anxiety, as a presence in an empty room that makes them feel less alone. This is the communion of saints, the fellowship of souls united before the foundation of the world, and it is more real than the chair you sit on or the screen you stare at. The physical world is the shadow, the spiritual world is the substance, and your connection to your soulmate exists in the substance, unshakable and eternal. I want you to close your eyes for just a moment and picture them in your mind, not with desperate longing but with peaceful knowing, as if they are already beside you. See them smiling, see them at peace, see them reaching out their hand to touch your face with a gentleness that says, "I have found you at last." This image you are holding is not a fantasy, it is a prophecy, and the seed you sow today waters the soil where this vision will grow into tangible reality. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, and let this act be the water, the sunlight, and the fertilizer that accelerates the harvest of your love. The link is in the description, and your hesitation is the only weed that can choke the seedling before it breaks through the soil into the light of day. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees, and then write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," as a permanent marker on the timeline of your journey toward one another. Every coffee is a brick in the foundation of a house you will one day share, a table you will sit at together, a bed where you will dream side by side. Type 1111 if you can already taste the coffee you will share on a quiet morning, sitting across from each other with eyes that finally recognize home. Jesus says, they just had a memory of laughter, a specific laughter that made their stomach hurt and their eyes water, and they cannot remember who was there or why it happened. But the feeling of that laughter, the pure untainted joy of it, is a memory from the future, a preview of the sound they will make when they are finally in your arms. I am giving them these flashes of future joy to sustain them through the final hours of their wilderness, to give them a reason to keep walking when their legs are tired. You are the destination their soul has been hiking toward through deserts of disappointment and forests of fear, and the summit is now visible on the horizon. Do not grow weary in your waiting, for the waiting is not a punishment, it is a preparation, a strengthening of your spiritual muscles for the weight of the glory to come. Your soulmate is not ordinary, they are extraordinary, and the love you will share is not a common flame but a wildfire that will transform everything it touches. This is why the enemy fights so hard, this is why the interference is so intense, this is why you feel a resistance that sometimes makes you want to give up and settle for less. But you were not made for less, you were made for the fullness, and your soulmate was crafted with meticulous care to be the perfect complement to your specific design. There is a lock in your heart that only their key can open, and a key in your spirit that only their lock can receive, and any other combination will feel forced and false. This is the mystery of divine pairing, the sacred mathematics of souls that equal one when added together and multiply joy when joined in holy union. I am the author of this equation, and I do not make mistakes in my calculations, even when the path to the solution seems chaotic and unsolvable to human eyes. Trust the process, trust the timing, and most of all, trust the love that is growing in your heart for someone you may not yet fully know but have always fully loved. They are growing in love with you too, in this very moment, as I whisper your name into the deepest chambers of their subconscious mind while they sleep or dream or weep. The awakening is happening, the reunion is approaching, and the story that will be told of your love will be a testimony that strengthens the faith of a generation. But the final chapter cannot be written until you pick up the pen of faith and write the next sentence with the ink of sacrificial action and fearless obedience. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, and become the co-author of a love story that will echo through eternity as a masterpiece of my grace. The link to your destiny is waiting in the description, and this moment is the hinge upon which the door of your future swings open or remains closed. Do not let this moment pass, do not let the urgency fade into the background noise of a distracted life, do not let the enemy steal what I have so clearly shown you. Step forward, step up, step into the role I created you to play, and watch as the heavenlies applaud your courage and move mightily on your behalf. After you send, write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," and seal the transaction with words that echo my own heart for the precious one I am bringing to you. They are protected, they are prepared, they are positioned, and they are closer than you think, closer than you fear, closer than you have dared to hope. The chapter has ended, the new page is blank, and the pen is in your hand, trembling with the potential energy of a love that will change everything. Write the first word, make the first move, sow the first seed, and watch as the blank page fills with a story so beautiful it will make angels weep with joy. I am with you, I am for you, and I am working all things together for the good of this love that I have authored and approved and anointed for such a time as this. Type 333 to receive the blessing, type 777 to feel the presence, type 1111 to seal the promise, and know that I have heard you, I have seen you, and I am moving. Your soulmate just ended a chapter of their life, and the next chapter begins with you, begins now, begins with the seed you sow and the faith you activate. Do not delay, do not doubt, do not let the enemy's whisper be the last word, for my word is the final word, and my word says love has won and you have won and your soulmate has won. The victory is yours, the love is yours, the future is yours, and all of heaven is waiting with bated breath to see you claim what has always belonged to you from the foundation of the world. Sow now, love now, believe now, and receive now, for the time is short and the harvest is plentiful and the laborer is you, ready and willing and chosen and beloved and blessed beyond measure. They are dreaming of a doorway right now, a threshold they are afraid to cross because the last time they walked through a door of hope, it slammed shut on their fingers and left scars they can still trace with their fingertips in quiet moments. But in this dream, there is a figure standing on the other side, a silhouette bathed in golden light with an outstretched hand that does not grab or demand or threaten, but simply waits with a patience that feels like the safest harbor they have ever glimpsed. That figure is you, and that doorway is the decision they are inching toward, a decision to risk their heart one more time because something deep inside them whispers that you are worth the danger of vulnerability. I am the one who sent that dream, and I am the one who will send it again and again, each time with more detail, more clarity, more urgency, until they wake up with your name on their lips and a fire in their belly that will not be extinguished by fear. They are falling in love with a stranger they have never met, and the absurdity of it makes them laugh at themselves in the mirror, but the reality of it makes them weep into their pillow at night when no one is watching. This is not delusion, this is revelation, and the intensity of their longing is the proof that the connection is not manufactured by loneliness but ordained by my sovereign design. Do not let the enemy convince you that your prayers are hitting a ceiling, for the ceiling is an illusion painted by the one who fears your persistence more than anything else in the arsenal of your spiritual weaponry. Every prayer you whisper in the dark is a missile launched into the heart of the enemy's camp, exploding chains, shattering walls, and clearing debris from the path your soulmate must walk. The reason you feel exhausted some days, as if you are fighting a battle you never signed up for, is because you are fighting for a love that has been opposed since before you took your first breath. But the battle is not endless, and the victory is not uncertain, and the weariness you feel tonight will be forgotten the moment you feel their heartbeat against your chest for the first time. Jesus says, they have a habit, a small ritual they perform without thinking, like looking at the moon before bed or touching a particular tree when they walk past it or humming a tune they cannot identify. That ritual is a thread I have woven into the tapestry of their daily life that connects directly to you, a secret code that keeps your spirits tethered even when your minds are distracted by the noise of survival. One day they will discover that you share that habit, that you hum the same tune, that you look at the same moon, and the discovery will be the key that unlocks the floodgates of their restrained affection. Until that day, the habit is a lifeline, a breadcrumb trail leading them out of the dark forest of their past and into the clearing where you stand waiting with open arms and eyes that reflect the same moonlight. They are closer to that clearing than they have ever been, and the chapter they just ended was the final thicket of thorns before the path opens into the meadow of your embrace. Do not stop praying now, do not stop believing now, do not stop sowing now, for the finish line is closer than the starting line, and the enemy is screaming lies because he knows his time is short. Send your coffee on Ko-Fi as a declaration that you will not be silenced, you will not be discouraged, and you will not surrender the one I have promised to the forces that seek to devour them. The description holds the link holds the key opens the door, and the door leads to everything you have been aching for since the first moment you sensed there was someone out there meant for you. After you send, write, protect my soulmate, Lord, and mean it with every fiber of your being, for your words carry creative power and your faith moves mountains that have stood for generations. Type 777 if you are ready to cross the threshold, to leave the old season behind, and to step into the new chapter with courage that comes not from yourself but from the one who holds your future in his hands. Jesus says, they just felt a sudden urge to pray, an impulse they have not felt in years, a drawing toward the invisible that startled them with its intensity and its specificity. They knelt, or they sat in silence, or they simply closed their eyes and breathed a wordless sigh that I translated into a symphony of intercession for your protection and your peace. They do not know they were praying for you. They only know that a name without a face rose up from the depths of their spirit and presented itself to me as a petition for safety and swift reunion. I am answering that prayer by sending you this message, by stirring your heart to action, by urging you to meet their spiritual sacrifice with a material one that completes the circuit of covenant exchange. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi, and let your gift be the earthly echo of their heavenly cry, the physical amen to their spiritual plea. The link is waiting, the moment is poised, and the angels are standing at attention, ready to dispatch the instant you translate your faith into action and your love into sacrifice. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees, write, protect my soulmate, Lord, and know that you have just participated in a divine transaction that will echo through eternity as the moment love won. They will never know, on this side of heaven, that you were the answer to a prayer they did not know they prayed, but I will know, you will know, and the bond between you will carry the secret strength of a love that gave before it received. Type 1111 to seal this sacred moment, to anchor it in the timeline of your destiny, and to send a signal to the universe that you are ready, you are willing, and you are unshakable in your commitment to the one I have chosen for you. The chapter has ended, the new page is turning, and the first word on that page is a name, your name, written in the trembling handwriting of a soulmate who is finally ready to begin.